Sometimes a video game comes along that feels like it transcends the rules that most video games follow. Need to onboard your player? Pop-up windows with 1 to 2 sentence descriptions of what buttons to press. Exposition needed? Maybe an NPC can deliver that, or a note found left on a nearby table. What about all those map markers? Video games spend a lot of time, usually in the first hour, teaching you how to play the game, what the controls are, how to track things, or craft things, or upgrade things. All the things. This type of onboarding can be useful and is often necessary to bring new audiences and players into that game world. Sometimes, though, a game takes a little bit of a different approach. I knew from the first few moments of Sifu that this was one of those games. My gaming spidey sense can immediately tell me what kind of game I'm getting into based simply on the HUD or the heads-up display. This is all the visual information the game presents to you on the screen at any given time. Think of the mini-map and the inventory quick access, the health bar, the compass, objective markers that you need to follow. Some games have very busy HUDs, others do not. From the moment Sifu begins, you are presented only with the stunning and beautifully crafted world around you. The camera sits in close to the character you control, almost touching his shoulder. You hear the sound of rain all around you, the night sky glowing above, and as you take your first HUDless steps into the world of Sifu, you know right away that this game is something special. Almost immediately, the game tells the player what this experience is going to be like. A seamless, engaging, kung fu action story that relies heavily on player skill and very little on pop-ups, HUDs, and the game telling you how to do stuff. If you've ever played Breath of the Wild, you know what I'm talking about. That game offers very little in terms of on-screen display stuff, tutorial pop-ups, and directions. In a good way. The opening moments of Sifu really do a great job of teaching the player how this game works in a really amazing way. Having just spent some time with another recently released AAA title a few days before, Sifu was really a different experience, and it taught me in just about 2 minutes how to do everything. Instead of showing me 2 hours of cumbersome cutscenes and tutorials. In Sifu, it's counter, punch, dodge. Simple and elegant. The game becomes much more complex as you put more into it. Add on top of that a stunning opening credits scene in which you are given an interactive tutorial on some important moves and combos while the credits roll, and Sifu puts you into its stunning kung fu world immediately. The story is told through a mix of short and poignant cutscenes with minimal voice acting. The focus here is on telling the story through gameplay and visuals, not through NPCs telling you stuff. Once the game opens up, you're presented with a revenge story and several targets to pursue through the game's instanced levels. This is not an open world game, but instead a meticulously crafted diorama. You make your way through the levels, kung-fuing bad guys as you go, and extracting your revenge on the level bosses, who each offer their own deadly fighting styles. This game is not easy. The skill ceiling is quite high, which I love. But what makes this game so unique is the way it handles repetition, a necessary part of the video game witch's brew. When you are defeated in battle, you rack up death points. This number goes up each time you die. There are ways to lower this counter, but it adds up pretty quick. The counter then ages you based on the number of death points you've racked up. So if you die as a spry 22-year-old, but you've racked up 5 death points, then you're going to end up as a 27-year-old the next time you respawn. After a few untimely deaths, you're suddenly in your mid-30s. Your character has visually aged, and your stats in certain areas have gone up or down. If you get too old, you die, and your adventure ends. This sets up some really fun choices about when you stop playing or keep going, when you go back and do a previous level again in a more efficient way, and when you use XP to earn new skills or save XP to spend later. It reminds me a little of some of the mechanics found in roguelike games. Sorry, I'll only say that one time. And it really spices up the adventure and makes the stakes feel higher.
If you're not on the list, you're not getting inside.
Private party. Back off.
There is a grace to Sifu, like a classic choreographed kung fu epic. Sifu feels like a dance, a very bloody and bone-breaking one, but a dance nonetheless. The animations are compelling, fluid, and fun. Sometimes you feel like an invincible kung fu warrior, and then a boss completely destroys you, and you quickly realize that you have some training to do. The minimalist approach here really makes the game shine and highlights the gorgeous environments that have been created by this very talented team of game makers. From the neon-soaked deep bass of the club level to the calm and peaceful hub area, there's a stylistic consistency here that many games simply cannot achieve. You know how in some games, some areas look awesome and then you turn around and there's a not-so-great-looking texture there to ruin the immersion? Well, not with Sifu. You feel like a part of this world from the very start. The game has progression, XPs, and combo systems as well. Mastering the combat will reward you with even cooler fights to engage with as you dish out deadly kicks, blocks, parries, and have flying fists. Toss in some fun weapon mechanics and the brawler aspects of this game really start to feel great. Easy to learn, hard to master. I strongly encourage you to give Sifu a try. If you love stylistic action and minimally gorgeous visuals coupled with a high skill ceiling and some cool upgrades and unlocks to chase, Sifu has a lot to offer. With a little practice and a little patience, you'll know Kung Fu, and you won't even need the Matrix. For more videos and reviews, games, and gameplay, head over to my YouTube channel, Justin Plays Games. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time.